All right, my man, state your name and let them know you on Real Talk with Nick.
All right. My name is Kenny Wright, from Brooklyn, but I've been a diehard Knicks fan from day one.
Oh, that's
I'm on
what's
Real
up.
Talk with my man Nick.
That's what's up, man. So day
Good.
one, you've been a Knicks fan.
Absolutely.
Parents raised you that way.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Actually, my parents didn't raise me that way. My brother put me on. Once my brother put me on, man, I was hooked. Man. I've been a Knicks fan ever since then.
Okay.
We talking early 80s.
All right. Now that's when the Knicks was about it.
That's what I'm saying.
And then even then, people wasn't. How can I say this? They wasn't where the old timers were telling about 70 basketballs.
Right.
So we still wasn't, but we was in the mix.
Right.
We had postseason basketball.
That's right, bro. That's right. I'm talking about back when we had Ken Bannister. Remember these cats? And the thing about that makes me love the Knicks so much is the hustle. It's the heart. Being a Knicks fan is not just about numbers and stats. It's about the heart of the player, man. Going out there giving your all the time. It's like playing in a park.
Yeah.
So
okay. So let's get into it, man. I would like to touch bases with the Knicks of today. All right. So my question to you would be, who's your favorite player on the Knicks when we speak of today under Tom Thibodeau leadership? Who do you like?
All right. My favorite player on the Knicks right now at this moment would have to be Emmanuel Quickly.
What you like about his game?
IQ, because I seen the growth from day one. I seen the potential. I seen how hard he worked to improve his game. Even coming to the end of last season, they was asking him. They interviewed him. It's like, we seen dramatic improvement in your game. What you've been doing? My man said, not only do he put the work in the gym, my man said, I studied tapes of the greats. I studied tapes of the greats. And if you realize it, no matter what sport you're talking about, all the greats always studied those who they're following behind. My man said he studied tapes of how Trae Young be killing them. He puts it on in the fourth. Study how my man Steph Curry be killing them when he put it on in the fourth. And the awesome thing about it is, it's not only from a selfish perspective. My man bought Obi Toppin's game out the bag. He had Obi Toppin looking like a monster the last 5-6 games of the season.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Let me speak of Emmanuel Quickly, right?
Yes.
Because he's a two guard. I mean, he's a combo guard.
Yes.
Right. He played a point guard in Kentucky.
Yes, he did.
Did it ever ponder why the Knicks don't use him effectively at the one?
Yeah. I would have to say, kind of being locked into Knick culture, and this is the reason they brought Tom Thibodeau on, because of the hard-nosed defensive mind. He's supposed to be a defensive genius. You got to prove it to me. If you preach defense, of course your players gonna go out there and play defense, but then you're gonna struggle on offense if you don't have an offensive mind. If you're talking about only defensive team don't win championships without defense, that's true, but you can't win a championship if you don't score either.
Okay, so speaking of scoring, do you feel Emmanuel Quickly has the potential of being a point guard, not a combo guard? Because once again, he played the point guard in Kentucky.
That's right. He was in Kentucky, right?
New York is just kind of split between Emmanuel Quickly developing to be a effective point guard in the NBA, because we can easily assess that being a point guard in college is different than being a point guard in the NBA. So some say, well, he was under the tutorage of Derrick Rose in the backcourt
that helped him
for 2 years. Why not start him?
Great question.
So
that's a fantastic question. That's something I thought about too. But like I said, it goes back to that culture. When you have a coach that comes in like Tom Thibodeau, he's known for being very systematic. He's still from that call for the Pat Rileys, and we got an 8-man rotation instead of expanding his horizons and utilizing what you have there. See, right now, at this present moment, right now, the Knicks actually have two starting teams. If he want, he could run it. He could put the pressure on from the jump and run the whole game and bury a team. But you got to utilize your players. You got to trust them enough to utilize them.
Okay. Now, once again, let's speak of Emmanuel Quickly.
Yes.
What do you like about his game? Because some say, you know what? He's a more effective second unit as a combo guard, not a point guard, because for one, he shoots erratic before passing. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't. Not completely. Because at that transitioning point when the coach started trusting him more at the point, now he was able. That took a lot of pressure of just shooting on the floor. At the time when Emmanuel quickly first started playing point guard under Thibodeau, he was still trying to do both. He was still trying to focus on doing both. Still focusing on bringing the ball up, not turning it over, and still being able to get decent shots while setting up his teammates. He came into the league under the impression, I'm a two guard. So year one, when you look at how he played last year, his shooting, everybody knew he could shoot. Everybody knew he could shoot. The pressure and the weight of him being able to take care of the ball was not on him. He just was out there to shoot. But this year, being that his role increased, Thibodeau put the ball in his hands more. I think that put a little bit of extra pressure on him, and his shot wasn't where it was in the beginning of the season. But as you see, nearing the end of the season, he picked up in that area too. He picked up in points scored, picked up in field goal, 3-point shoot. The only thing suffered was his free throw. Everything else, a part of his game, actually increased, even his assists. So that's something that I think the coach ought to look into as far as starting. Maybe not starting yet, but that's a possibility.
Okay, that's a possibility. All right. Now when I talk about R.J. Barrett, man, are you optimistic about the way his career is flourishing? Do you think he's going to be the star player of the Knicks? Is R.J. Barrett the face of the team, man?
Right now, R.J. Barrett has more popularity than any other player on the Knicks. When it comes to potential, each and every season, his numbers have improved. He's a gym rat. Just like, most of the Knicks are gym rats. These dudes are gym rats. They're looking to improve their game. And that's only going to make them better.
So what do you like in RJ that improved since he came out of Duke?
Okay. RJ Barrett's first year, he struggled at the three-point line. He's always been good at penetrating to the basket, getting to the basket, drawing fouls. He also struggled at the free throw line first year.
Right.
Second year, he improved at the free throw line. His three-point shot came around a little bit more. This past season, he's improved in every aspect of his game. Three-point, getting to the basket, free throw percentage, every aspect of the game is improved over the first 3 seasons of his career. Now, a person whose trajectory is moving in that direction, I can't help but to be optimistic that R.J. Barrett is going to be a star in this league for a long time.
You think so? So was you that happy when you heard about him getting drafted over when we chose him? Well, everybody wanted Zion. I'm talking about the draft class.
You said they wanted who?
Zion Williams. Zion. Remember?
Everybody wanted Zion.
Yeah, everybody wanted Zion.
Yeah.
And then we couldn't get Zion. We was hoping for Morant. I ain't hear too much of Barrett. Maybe a few echoes, a few people who's like,
I did.
Oh, okay. Maybe a few. Are you happy that we got the selection we had got?
Yes, I am. Would I have been happier with Zion? Yes. Would I have been happy with Ja Morant? Yes. We've got the top 3 out of the last. You can go to the last 10 seasons. When was the last time the top 3 NBA draft picks have been as successful as these 3? Zion, Ja Morant, and R.J. Barrett. Even though we haven't seen Zion Williams enough to really assess what the possibility of his career is able to do, but what we have seen, the sample size that we have seen, has been impressive. Out of the 3, last season, Ja Morant looks like, he's the guy, out of that pick of the litter. But when you look at the numbers, you cannot disregard what R.J. Barrett has done or what he's doing,
right,
or what he is capable of. So
right.
I'm very, very excited about the potential in R.J. Barrett.
Okay. Now, critics would say R.J. Barrett is a lefty. He need to learn to play on the right side. Some say he's showing splashes of that. What's your sentiment on that?
Okay.
Are you seeing enough of him playing on the right? Do you think he can play on the right?
I'll put it this way. there's some NBA players that they say, well, they can only pull up dribbling right. If you can't stop him from pulling up dribbling right, until they begin to consistently stop him from penetrating to the basket, going to his left, you don't fix what's not broken. But this past season, he has been finishing more with the right. He has been utilizing his right hand more. Julius Randle also, they've been using that right hand more because it adds to their arsenal. But I think R.J. Barrett, well, I believe, this is my personal opinion, that he's been working on his right hand, and we're going to see a lot more of that this coming season. And I believe if he's able to finish as strong with his right as he do his left, he's going to be a problem.
It's going to be a problem. Okay.
He's going to be a problem.
All right. Okay, man. Now I want to talk about Julius Randle. A lot of fans saying, get him out of here. A lot of fans say, Julius Randle. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. There's meat on the bone when we speak of him, man.
You can hear it.
Julius Randle, man. Let's get to it, man. Do you feel that Julius Randle still want to be a Knick? Let's start there.
No. I honestly, in my heart, believe that Julius Randle would like to move on and be somewhere where the pressure's not as hard, where the fans are not as tough, where the fans are not as knowledgeable when it comes to the sport of basketball. You talking about they call it Garden the Mecca of basketball. They call it that for a reason. You don't have this because at the Garden you don't have fans just over there waving to be a fan. These are people that have knowledge of the game. These are people that actually follow a team. People that look at stats. People that look at how players respond not only to the crowd but to the pressure at being at the Garden. I think Julius Randle had one really good season.
Right.
One really good season with us. And he got paid off for that. God bless him. He got paid off for that. He has a lot of work to do. One, he has to win the fans back over because he left a bad taste in the fans' mouth last season with his thumb down and all that. Let that bygones be bygones. Prove your faithfulness to the team by making your teammates better. And he only did that 1 out of 3 years. He needs to return back to the Julius Randle form where he's not afraid to trust his teammates. That's his problem. And I think one of the issues that he has in his game, there's nothing wrong with his game, is to be able to trust his teammates.
Okay, now, you said something about trust, right? Some say that there wasn't a sufficient point guard, so he had to bring the ball, right? You don't feel that he had to bring the ball up?
Why? He didn't have to bring the ball up. You have Emmanuel Quickly, who proved it. If anybody can honestly tell me and prove to me that Emmanuel Quickly can't play point guard, 2 triple-doubles in the last 5 games, and one of those triple-doubles, he had 34 points. He would be, I would say, the perfect candidate to run a point guard position. I would back him up behind Brunson. Why not? You put him off, you bring him off the bench, playing against the second-string point guard. Destroy it. Run him off a few picks. They got to worry about his long-range shooting. They got to worry about his penetrating and his floater. Dangerous.
Okay.
Absolutely dangerous.
Okay.
And then if you want to put the pressure on in the fourth, you put him out there with Bronson.
Okay. All right. So, man, quickly that guy with you as the point guard. But do you think Julius Randle is going to be able to have that same chemistry when you speak of a player like Bronson? Now we got Bronson.
That's the question.
How effective would Julius Randle be able to win the fans back? Because now he don't have to play like a point forward no more, man. Even though you saying he never had to in the beginning.
He never did. I know that. The fans know that.
So
Julius Randle never had to play point forward. The only time I would say, honestly, in my opinion, that Julius Randle could actually bring the ball up and it'd be beneficial for the team is if they're trying to do a full court press and they make their forward have to guard him on the perimeter. That's the only reason. Outside of that, he can move the ball, set a pick, and keep moving. You know what I mean? He brought the ball up because he didn't trust his teammates.
But you say he played ISO ball?
He plays ISO ball. That's all he played. Tibbs need to hold him accountable.
Okay.
All season long, Tibbs is like, I hold all my players accountable. I've witnessed him not hold Julius Randle accountable. The fans witnessed him not holding Julius Randle accountable. So what he says and what he's shown us is not lining up. It just don't line up. Julius Randle is able to hold the ball for 10 and 12 seconds, burn the clock out, and then pull up a contested three. I've never seen Tibbs hold him accountable.
Okay, moving right along, man. I know you've seen the Knicks during the draft class.
How do I feel?
How do you feel about that? We gave up the 11th pick. We
Yeah.
gave Kemba Walker to Detroit, and we gave up picks to bring in
Kills.
Jalen Brunson.
Oh, I think the Jalen Bronson move to be able to pick him up, I think that was a step in the right direction.
Oh, you do?
I believe that was a step in the right direction. But what's going to determine whether that's a good decision or not is what they do with the rest of the summer. If that was their move for the summer, I gotta question it. But if they're gonna make some more, they still gotta make a few more moves and a few more pieces. Because I personally feel that it's gonna be difficult for Brunson to play like Brunson if we have a Julius Randle out there that wants to do Julius.
So, are you telling me that when the season starts and we don't add no additional pieces to what we have already, that there's going to be turmoil in the locker room between Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle? You don't see Julius Randle changing his game and submitting when you got a problem.
Big problem. If he doesn't adjust his game, I didn't say change. He just needs to make an adjustment of his game. Understand that he doesn't need to touch the ball every possession. He don't need to play iso ball every possession. If we need a basket and they go into their zone, yeah, iso you post them up. ISO, post them up. Cause a problem. Cause a double team. But understand, if you kick the ball out, if they double team you, somebody's open. Don't force the ball in. Like the first season Julius Randle was here, dude averaging like 4 turnovers a game.
Okay.
Off of the spin move. That's not good. But I believe that if he makes the adjustment in his game and able to recognize that double team sooner, or even be able to anticipate it, he's surrounded by shooters.
So you don't think Jalen Brunson's gonna make much of a difference? With Julius Randle don't have to play iso ball no more?
He doesn't have to play iso ball no more. Not from the power forward position if you're gonna play power forward.
Okay.
Because Jalen Brunson is a threat at his position, point guard.
All right, so let's talk about.
Worry about it.
Okay, so how effective is Jalen Brunson, man? You watched him in Dallas.
Yeah.
Do you think playing in the Apple, when we speak of New York, is he ready for the New York pressure that comes with the game?
Only time can tell that.
Only time.
Only time can tell. A lot of players believe that they are ready for the Mecca. Then they get here, and then the pressure of the fans, the media, YouTube, it gets to them. It gets to them. And then, we end up seeing after a while, after that pressure get them.
Okay.
When was the last time we seen that?
Okay. So some fans think when Jalen Brunson come here, it's kind of split with the fans. Some say he's not worth the $104 million the Knicks gave him for. Some say he's going to have an all right season. Some even expect Jalen Brunson to have a 25-point game every game.
It's possible. He could be a 20-point scorer. He could average 20 points a game. He could average 8 to 9 assists a game. But it's not just based. That's not just based upon Jalen Brunson. If just thinking about how last season played out, look at R.J. Barrett's numbers, knowing how long Julius Randle held the ball. R.J. Barrett was still able to get his, still able to make his teammates better. So it depends on Jalen Brunson's approach. If everybody has the understanding that he's the point guard, if he's turning the ball over, coming up court, then I understand he need help. He need help. But if that's not happening, why you having somebody else bring the ball up?
Okay. Now some say that the only reason why the Knicks went to get Jalen Brunson was to try to will in Donovan Mitchell. And it looks as if that's not going to happen because Danny Ainge, right? You heard. He asked for a lot. He wanted Quentin Bronze. He wanted, I think, 4 future picks. Who else was in there? RJ? Obi? Come on, so that ain't happened. Do you think that's going to backfire? Because Donovan Mitchell was hanging with Emmanuel quickly, man.
Yeah, no.
So far, doing it.
I see them. They trained together in the off season. They worked out together in the off season. It was looking promising in the beginning, but I know that Danny Ainge is not a clown. He's not an idiot. And I know that Rose is not a clown nor an idiot. If there's going to be any negotiations, it's going to definitely be between them two, and both of them are fantastic negotiators. And I think the package that Ainge is asking for is too much. We've already experienced the Knicks having a decent infrastructure and then selling the farm to get Melo. We saw what happened. We saw what happened over there, and we felt what happened here. There was no need for the Knicks to sell a farm to get Donovan Mitchell. If Donovan Mitchell really wants to be a New York Knick, when the time is right, everything will line up and it'll be possible. But I honestly don't feel like the Knicks should sell the farm to get Donovan Mitchell, especially with the last couple of years. The draft picks, everybody's looking very promising.
Right.
So there's no need to sell a farm.
Okay, moving right along. My man Obi Toppin. Obi. Is Obi ready to start, man?
Is Obi ready to start?
And are you high on Obi with his game, man?
Obi Toppin has started the last 5 games of last season. Did you see his averages?
Okay.
Points per game, field goal percentage, 3-point shooting percentage, rebounds, straight monster. Those were monster numbers. And I'm gonna tell you one thing. The only thing I felt was the stumbling block in Obi Toppin's progress was the fact that he was held accountable for what he did on the court. And especially when you backing up Julius Randle, gentleman coming up an All-Star season, God bless him, did great. When you backing up a All-Star or somebody at that status, every little mistake you make is put under magnifying glass. And that's the pressure that Obi Toppin had lingering over his head. But those last 5 games, Julius Randle was not available. There was no pressure for them to pull him out. They couldn't just quickly pull him out. So he was able to play with a free mind.
Okay.
He was able to play and be Obi.
Okay.
He's not Julius Randle. He's Obi.
Okay.
Let Obi be Obi.
All right. What do you say to those who say that Obi is only good for running fast breaks?
No. In college, Obi wasn't running fast breaks in college. He had his little one-on-one ISOs. You probably don't want to feed it to him every possession, but he's a threat there too. He's a threat cutting to the basket, threat for the hoop. He's perfect for New York.
All right.
He was made in New York.
Okay, yeah.
He's perfect for you. It's the opportunities that's presented to him.
Right.
Obi doesn't bring the ball up. He doesn't bring the ball up. You don't bring the ball up like Julius. You limited to you're gonna have to learn how to play the game without the ball.
Got you.
And being able to do what he did those last 5 games without the ball. Think about that. Without the ball. We never saw a game where Obi trying to bring the ball up, shake his man. No. He's cutting to the basket. He's setting picks for the ball handler, cut to the basket, catch a oops. That's playing without the ball. Anybody can play with the ball. That's the game. Can you play without the ball and still put up numbers like that? Something to look at.
Okay. Good assessment, man. How you feel about Kemba Walker being let go? Do you think he had a chance under Tom Thibodeau leadership, man? You know.
I think he was doomed from day one. One, because of the defensive mindset that Tibbs has. He wants players to be able to come in and be impactful defensively above anything. If you can't play defense, he's not really looking for you. Quentin Grimes had to prove he could stop this man. Miles McBride is another one. The man, the reason they picked him up is because of his defensive premise.
Right.
The only reason he hasn't gotten a chance to shine, look at our point guard situation.
Right.
Tibbs does not trust rookie point guards. Just doesn't.
Should he?
He should give them an opportunity to prove him wrong. Give them an opportunity to prove you wrong. Don't just sit them down and you tell them you're not ready. No, you show me that you're not ready. This is New York. This is the Mecca. If you mess up, they're going to let you know you don't need to be there.
Okay, so even if Kemba Walker was healthy, you think he would have been doomed for under Tom Thibodeau?
At those stretches of games where we couldn't get enough points on the board, Kemba could have been very effective. Like right now, being that they made it where teams could actually drop back into a zone, I think it would have been very effective to have Kemba Walker out there.
Right.
Especially on the offensive end.
Right.
You look at teams like Kemba was short. I don't care about that. But you look at teams like Atlanta. How good of a defender is Trae Young? You know that man is never going to win no Defensive Player of the Year. Steph Curry never going to win no Defensive Player of the Year because these defensive coaches, they learn how to hide them on the defensive end. They hide them. Everywhere they go, they got help. Why couldn't our defensive genius Tom Thibodeau figure out how to hide Kemba Walker on our defensive end? We got Mitch Robinson out there, rim protector. Now we got Sims out there, rim protector.
Okay, that goes to say, well, being that you mentioned that, right? Is it safe to say the game changed then? That defense is not all that acquired.
Not the same. They made a lot of adjustments. They made a lot of changes throughout the years of the game to improve it, to speed it up. Fantastic. The 3-point line, great, fantastic. But defense is still the same, except that you can't hand check no more. A lot of stuff like that,
Okay.
You slap a wrist, you might get flagrant now. But
All right, 2 more questions, man. When we speak of the center position, we got our big men. We got Mitchell Robinson. Now, Mitch just got the bag, 60 mil. I see him on the gram posting on his car. My man got paid. He deserved it, right? What do he needs to work on so he can continue to get paid down the line, man?
Mitch Robinson, that's my guy. That's my guy. He came into the league for being a second-round pick. Second round. Interesting to me is that he made his own way. Nobody gave him nothing. He made his own way. He came into the league with straight-up defensive presence. The man blocked more 3-point field goal attempts than anybody in one season. Where do you find that? This man has a nose for defense. He has a nose for how to protect that rim. Now, the aspects of the game that anybody could say he needs to work on, well, he needs to work on his offense. But we don't have any offensive plays to run for Mitchell Robinson, do we? There's not one offensive play to run for Mitchell Robinson. I've seen practice tapes of Mitch Robinson dribbling, handling, shooting threes. But if there's no plays running for you on the offensive end for your team, when do you get to show yourself?
Right.
Once again, it goes back to that culture. The big man is supposed to be under the rim, picking up the trash. Really? I don't think he's ever had an opportunity to show his offensive arsenal. I think there's a lot more to Mitch Robinson than we even know because we don't have any offensive plays run for him, except for the lob.
Okay. So with that being said, what does he need to work on?
I don't even know.
You don't even know?
Because the training videos I saw of Mitch Robinson, he was doing it all. You talking about a 7-foot dude that can handle the ball. Not just handling it, bringing it up. We saw Jericho Sims doing that in the summer league, pushing the ball, bringing it up, moving. I seen Mitch Robinson doing that, but he doesn't get that opportunity. They want him to block the shot. They want him to grab the rebound and give it to the point guard to bring the ball up. No opportunity.
Okay.
There's no chance. See, I think one of the advantages that Jericho Sims had, there's no pressure. He's just coming up a rookie season. He can mess up because he's a rookie. They're expecting more out of Mitch Robinson.
Okay, fair enough. And the icing on the cake, man, when we speak of that, of Tom Thibodeau, is he the right coach for the Knicks, man?
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
Because if you look at the track record, season 1, what? We go from making the playoffs to not making the playoffs. What changed?
Right.
What changed? We got to look at that.
Okay.
We got to look at what got us to the playoffs. So what got us to the point where we didn't make the playoffs? What changed? Are all the players judged on the same standard? Are all the players held accountable for their mistakes or their errors? You got to look at that.
All right, my man. That's what it is, man. I want to thank you for coming on Real Talk with Nick.
Yeah.
In the Hall of Harlem, we got a Brooklyn night, y'all.
Yeah.
And he's a Knicks fan.
Born in Harlem.
Oh, you born in Harlem?
Born and raised in Harlem. I just live in Brooklyn now.
Okay, are you close by the Barclay?
What's up?
Are you close?
Nah.
Oh, so you don't smell the stench or nothing like that?
Nah.
Oh, so you good?
I'm not near the Barclay.
I'm happy for you, man. And we out. Peace.